10-4, Forkers. Call sign Sea Monkey here on the ones and twos. Last week we heard tell of a group of would-be monster hunters having some less than perfect introductions. Town weirdo Clinton Brooks interrupted two lovers outside the woods after a bird told him they were going to be murdered. Then a personified flame calling itself Cronoa gave a convoluted speech about helping Clinton help the town. This help, however, would come with consequences. Meanwhile, Leopold Lark had to bury his dear mother Paige, call sign Blueberry here on the network, who left a message for him saying he could get in touch with Mystic Mikey, a known friend on our local radio channels who could help him discover more about the legacy Paige left behind. That legacy took the form of the Helmsfolk, a secret organization intent on driving back a threat that Paige called the Uncanny. Mystic Mikey is perfectly suited to peel back the curtain on the supernatural, as we all know. He tells us weekly about aliens and cryptids and all that good stuff. Lark, on the other hand, is far from a believer. This week we might learn what comes of their new acquaintanceship. And what about that weirdo Mr. Brooks? We'll see. Onward to strangeness and adventure. Sea Monkey out.
What the?
I
Lark
audibly
from
say
outside.
I say what the out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, what the from outside you hear like a muffled what the, and you realize that like there aren't many lights on in the room, but you do see like a faint glow, and you're not sure like, but it is moving as someone gets up to open the door, and there's Mystic Mikey, and you realize that was the glow coming from him? You're not quite sure, but there he is, the guy who was lurking at your mother's funeral.
What are you doing here?
I'm supposed to talk to you.
Okay. Did someone send you? Possibly something from the beyond? Like,
Well, you could say that. You remember
Oh.
the funeral you kind of barged in on earlier today? My mom, Paige Lark. Ring a
funeral?
bell? Or...
I thought that was a parade.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a parade of life, you could say. But no, my mom Paige, she left me a VHS tape. She told me to come stop by, talk to you about, you know, the happenings. Doesn't ring a bell.
Mom was interested in the happenings.
Old woman. She kind of ran the diner, made pies. Like she made a good chocolate pie, banana pie, blueberry pie.
Blueberry? Are you talking about Blueberry? Wait, we haven't heard from her in a few days.
That does track.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
Do you have a VHS player?
I'm really sorry for your loss. I don't have a VHS player, but I could make one really quick. Do you have like 20 minutes?
Okay, yeah.
Cool, man. Come on in. Okay. Take a seat. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you around.
This good to formally meet you.
Yeah, I'm Mikey. What's up? I've never shown anyone my workshop before.
Wait,
this is definitely something.
I thought it was like a place that you wanted to look. Anyway, you don't have a VHS player, but you want to make one. Okay, that's exciting. I think you can just do it. I'm not sure it'll take 20 minutes, but you start making that player, and you're chatting. You're talking about. I mean, you tell me what you're talking about, Lark. How kind of are you approaching this conversation, or Mikey too? Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm just breathlessly. I haven't like had a normal social conversation with anyone in a really long time, and I'm just breathlessly talking about paranormal activities that I have.
Yeah, and I'm just not responding. I'm just waiting patiently to put the tape in.
Let's play that out. What are you like? What are your pet topics these days, Mystic Mikey? What are you kind of focusing in on? Is it mostly aliens?
I think the main thing I've been thinking about is how the little green men image is actually an image for aliens that was created by the government to kind of distract us from the aliens' real forms, which is something much more complex and sinister and hard to imagine. But they just want us to. They've created this thing for average people to kind of hold on to and have an image of that's sort of easy to comprehend while they mask the real truth for what's out there.
I just say,
Lark, you hear? Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Do you at any point like bring it back to your mom, or are you waiting until this VCR is completed?
I want my mom to speak for herself, but I am waiting for him to kind of get to the point, because she's telling me that things are happening in town, and he's talking about aliens. So I'm trying to figure out where these two things meet.
Gotcha. I just looked up VCR. How long does it take to make? The Quora is really not coming through for me. It's like nothing is like telling me how long it takes to make a VCR. It's all about like converting the internet. Well, yeah, we'll say give me an act under pressure roll, Mystic Mikey.
Okay. I got a base 11. I don't know what modifier act under pressure takes.
Wow. Okay. I think that's just. Let's pull it up here. Act under pressure is plus cool.
Okay. My cool is +1, so dirty 12.
Amazing. You do what you wanted to do to absolute perfection. So you make
That's
this
right.
VCR in 20 minutes. Lark, I'm fairly certain it's one of the most brilliant things you've ever seen, even though you are skeptical.
I am just absolutely blown away. Because like I said, like in my intro and just in my apartment, I'm not technologically savvy. I don't understand how any of this stuff works. Like I use a radio in the field, but at the same time, like you got to respect the kids and what they do, especially when he's just rambling and rambling and rambling. And I'm like, oh, wow, he can multitask.
There have actually been a couple times where I've wanted to interject and ask this, but I think this is as good a time as any. What are kind of your relative ages, do you think? I'm fine with like mixing up the chronology we've talked about to like make this work, but how do you see your characters? All three of you can chime in.
I think of Mystic Mikey as like 19, like a pretty young adult, like fresh out of high school, didn't go to college, and is kind of just doing his own thing out in the world.
I think originally I thought it was a little bit younger, but I'm fine being like 45, like a young 45 though, because I'm pretty active and like, yeah, got my hair.
I like that.
I was thinking like 60s or 70s, so still physically capable, but kind of on the border of that.
I love it. We're representing a lot of age groups. That's great. So when you get around to putting the tape in, you see what kind of screen we working with, Mystic Mikey. You got a TV or you got to build that too?
I have a TV, but it's just not hooked up to anything. Just there. I like you can see that the back panel is like disassembled, and I was maybe gonna consider like stripping it up for spare parts or whatever, but I haven't gotten to that yet. So
Plug it in, turn it on. VCR works. Again, Lark, to your absolute amazement, you pop the tape in and you hear kind of the message that I've already delivered. Mystic Mikey, how does it strike you to kind of first see the person you've been communicating with, we said for maybe even a couple of years now, talking about all the lore of the town, but also like you're finally connecting this whole thing together and you're realizing that Lark is the person that you're going to have to take into the Helmsfolk fold?
I'm really excited. I'm like, wait, your mom was Blue Mom. What? Come on, I'll take you to the even right now. We're going, man. Like, let's go. You got to meet all the guys.
Can you even drive? Do I need to drive you? Are you comfortable in the front seat?
Comfortable, yeah. I mean, my mom used to let me ride in the front sometimes if I was being good, but
yeah, Mystic Mikey, you also know that you don't have to drive because just across the way, right off Granite Lane, where the Livingstons live and where you're staying, is Valentine's Diner, and you were given a key by a somewhat cryptic messenger that you didn't see, with a few months back. Just taped to it were the words "walk-in freezer, comma Valentine's." And so I kind of want to play out the scene. We can go back in time a little bit. You're kind of getting this key after having these conversations with Blueberry. You knew something was coming and you get this key that's labeled that way. Is it something that you would try to walk in during the day and figure out? Or did you do a bit of clandestine reconnaissance or perhaps even burgling a little bit? Is it burgling? Yeah. Breaking and entering? I don't know. To get in there maybe after hours.
Mystic Mikey has just a lot of sort of leftover adolescent overconfidence, I think. And I think he would have just gone right in there. I think he would have just let her rip.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I've got a key to the walk-in freezer, maybe.
Yeah. I actually think he wouldn't even talk to anyone. He just walked right back there. He would have just...
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So as you walk back there, you're not talking to anyone. You are stopped by a cook in the back, and he's kind of holding a spatula, working over one of those big grills. And he says what are you doing? You can't be back here.
I'm here to fix the air conditioner, and I just keep walking.
Hey, he stopped, he physically tries to restrain you, which I think he does because he's a full-grown man. And he goes, Sandy, we got a little guy back here. I don't know what the hell's going on. And back walks Sandy Dunn, the proprietor of Valentine's. And she goes, she's wearing kind of a more vintage looking uniform almost. It is a white coat with red heart-shaped buttons. There's only 3 or 4 buttons down the front, and it's pretty striking. And you see she has a red and white nameplate affixed to it that just says Sandy. She's kind of a local fixture, has been running the diner in town since Paige Lark passed it on to her as Lark's best friend growing up. And she says, what? I have to ask the same question as Joaquin here. What the hell are you doing?
Fine. Listen, given that I'm being restrained against my will, I might add,
Joaquin kind of just tightens his grip.
Some guy gave me this key and just said to go back to the walk-in. I mean, you know who I am. I'm here to distribute paraphernalia of not drugs, but my alien pamphlets. You probably got one. Anyway, some guy gave me this key and I wanted to go check it out.
That is the weirdest excuse I've ever heard. Do you know anything?
Please.
And that's when an old woman delivering pies walks in. She's got a little carrier for them. They look to be fairly fresh because she's not refrigerating them or anything. But she carries them in these baskets this was a couple months back, so it's summer. She still has on a fuzzy black cap. And you see Sandy greets her and goes, thank you so much for the pies, Paige. People they've been selling out recently. They've been a real hit this summer. And you see Paige doesn't really even respond. She just hands the pies over, goes back, and whispers something in Joaquin's ear. He releases you, and you are free to explore. So you find the walk-in freezer. It's not too far away. You do open it with kind of the metal handle that's on it, and you walk in and are blasted by cold air. But you realize that to get in and out, there is no key needed. So you realize that it's not a key necessarily to get into the freezer. Now you're in. What do you do?
Is it dark?
No, there's a light that
Or
comes
is there like a
on.
little overhead light
There's
that
a
comes
light
on?
switch. Yeah, there's a light switch, so you flip that on.
I guess I just check it out. Like, are there any, like, does it appear to be like a normal restaurant freezer kind of packed to the gills with stuff? Or are there any like obvious gaps or things like that?
This is not that bad of a situation, but let's read a bad situation. It has the most relevant question I think you could ask. So go ahead and roll read a bad situation. It's plus sharp.
Ooh, 4.
Hard move time in flashback mode. You see, like, so Paige had walked over and just talked to Joaquin, but Sandy saw her do this and now is kind of having a bit of an argument with Paige. Like, you can't just let any what's going on. And she kind of comes back and starts to kind of try to pull you out herself. But again, this old pie lady intervenes, and now you see them having a pretty animated conversation outside. The hard move, though, is that eventually Sandy goes away, and the person who we now know to be Paige Lark walks in and kind of just shakes her head a little bit, thinking you may have been smarter after your correspondence, but she doesn't let on. And you're just kind of like, you're super flummoxed. You're like, what's going on? And she, what she does is she steps into the room. You can tell she's kind of shivering, very skinny, and like I said, had this black hat on in summer, so must be cold on the inside. And she traces a line in frost on the floor with her foot that is like an X marks the spot, walks out of the room and shuts the door behind her. So you now see, as you investigate, that this old woman who allowed you access and found this spot for you, which I'm now starting to realize Mikey might be a character trait that's coming naturally, is Mikey might just be like super, like his enthusiasm has him very focused on like broad and like very profound topics, and he sometimes like doesn't even notice what's right under his nose, right? Both the door itself and the fact that like this is obviously blueberry, right? But you don't even connect those dots, and you're like, oh, a door, and you kind of open this trap door, which you find with the X, and there is a keyhole leading what you would assume down to like some stairs or something. But you pop in the key, you open up. So there's a first trap door, you open that up, you pop the key in, and that allows you access to some stairs going down into what looks to be like a dark basement. What do you do?
Well, I think Mikey is still a little bit embarrassed and is kind of glowing like beet red from the fact that, an old lady had to help him on his little journey. And I think feeling as though he has to kind of correct the vibe and, achieve something on his own, he just jumps right in to the trapdoor, just goes right down.
Gotcha. So you jump the stairs leading down in, and you
No.
I
take the stairs.
Okay.
I just take the plunge. Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't sure if he was trying to be self-destructive or something. No, okay.
Not trying to do something particularly athletic. Yeah.
Walk down the stairs, and you flip on the lights, and you enter into what looks like it's like almost a time capsule. It's like what you would imagine a place where people are like hanging out, but they were hanging out like in the early 70s. And it doesn't seem like many people have been down here since. So you have like all of the amenities that you might have seen in like like a home or like a bachelor pad, even in some places in like 1975. And that's like the last time this place looks to have been touched. There's dust everywhere. Some sheets have been put up on some of the furniture. But go ahead, Mystic Mikey, and describe your haven. And we can say that if y'all are okay with this, this is kind of where Mikey has taken Lark. And while you describe your haven, you can talk about like if you've made any updates or if you're kind of keeping with the 1970s aesthetic over the last couple months?
Yeah, Mikey is not particularly concerned with aesthetics. He's kind of just kept the overall vibe of the place more or less as is. But the space itself is really cool. It's it's almost like a silo. It's like a large, like vertical cavern with a really high ceiling, and the stair kind of spirals down into it. And you can see, however, that Mikey has made some of his own sort of personal upgrades to this haven. So first thing is his little workshop where he can kind of tinker and make just random useful gadgets and things of that nature. But additionally, there are two other sort of sections of the haven that Mikey has clearly impacted. The second one is what appears to be an armory with like a space where he could make even sort of makeshift or maybe even advanced weapons and armor and things of that nature. And the other one is there was this old sort of bookshelf that Mikey had left in place, which has been sort of torn apart. And in that bookshelf, Mikey has clearly discovered some type of magical ritual, which he has reenacted. So there's like a big spell circle on the floor. There's some candles and stuff like that. And Mikey has actually managed somehow in his just pure ingenuity to cast protective spells over this haven so that it is sort of inaccessible by things from the beyond. So that's kind of what the haven is like.
I like the idea of like you maybe even the next day kind of being guided by Blueberry and like almost in this zone of like, I don't really care if this works or doesn't work, but like it looks cool as hell as you're like drawing these runes or like filling them in because maybe they had been a little become a little bit dilapidated through the years. And this is what in her video Paige referred to as Helmsfolk HQ. And that's how Mystic Mikey is kind of like talking about it in his breathless wonder. I want to ask how Lark feels about it, but I also want to back up a little bit. Clinton, you're doing one of your classic shambling through the woods at night walks that you've been on now 2 nights in a row. And eventually you find your way into kind of the cheery light of Valentine's. It's pretty late at night and they have closed up shop. Do you... You see Mystic Mikey and Lark kind of going through. Mikey has a way to get in now after hours, which you assume has also been set up by this mysterious woman, Mystic Mikey. But Clinton, do you like intercept them when they're at the door? Do you try to follow in after them and just like head in kind of behind them? What's kind of your plan of entry here or like running into them?
Yeah, well, I think I see them go in, and I see the signature green glow of Mikey kind of moving through the night, and I think I kind of roll my eyes or kind of let out a sigh and like, oh God, this guy. Of course, he's also going to be here tonight. So that definitely lends me some pause, and I kind of stand in the distance and kind of think about like, yes, I was told to go here, but do I really want to get involved in this with this kid whose energy I do not vibe with at all?
Yeah, I like a little bit of like hesitation. Like you can see Mystic Mikey like chatting with a darker figure who's not glowing. And I want to make it clear this glow is so faint. Like it's not radioactive.
Yeah.
We're not saying Mystic Mikey's radioactive, but he's almost got an aura about him. And so you see Mystic Mikey aura farming at the door. And I almost want to say like Lark and Mystic Mikey walk through and you're kind of like waiting until they come back out to confront them even. Or like waiting when they come back out to like fake run into them. Does that seem like legitimate to you?
Yep.
Okay, so right. Lark, you are in the Haven. You just had all of these runes described to you, and you're like seeing this like rune that looks like it's out of the 70s. and Mystic Mikey's calling it Helmsfolk HQ. You don't even really know what that is. What's kind of going through your head here? How do you react to Mystic Mikey's introduction?
To me, this is kind of like the opposite of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? My mom put so much money into this restaurant, and I'm realizing now that it had to do with building a 2-story underground bunker. So I like the decor. I like what you've done with the place, Mystic Mikey, but I'm a little confused. I still haven't seen the point. I'm just more confused than when I walked in.
Listen, man, it's all going to make sense soon. Like, you just got to spend some time with it, get into the material, read a couple of these, and I pull out like just a wad of pamphlets from my back pocket. We all really loved your mom, on the network. Like, she was just such a beloved figure in the community. She really showed me the ropes around here. And she really wanted to rebuild this place to make it something great. I think this could be a really cool way, for you to sort of keep her memory alive. And hey, man, maybe if it all works out, you and me can become friends too. Like, that could be awesome. Like, I don't have any, so.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but can we get to like the too long didn't read the facts of the situation here? I like all the enthusiasm, but I need some answers. I'm confused. I don't know what my mom was up to, and I'm wondering what her ominous message had to do with her death and the future of the town.
Well, I have no idea what it had to do with her death, but I know, frankly, about as much about this as you do. Like, there's some weird stuff going on here, and there at one point was a really dedicated group of people who were interested in investigating it, and to the extent that it was nefarious, stopping it. But over time, people got older, people stopped caring, and sort of fell into a little bit of a disrepair. And I've just been in here trying to fix things up because I don't know. Mostly, I just think this stuff is cool, and I want to see if they were right about any of it. I talk a lot about aliens, but I've never actually seen one.
And Mystic Mikey, you were given access to a couple of things that would give you a bit more of a knowledge as to what's going on. The first is like you were given access to the ramblings of Blueberry, which like was kind of I don't know if you want to call it a segment, but like it was something the network really loved like tuning into, because like at the end of her life, Paige Lark would just go on these like huge tangents, like talking about fighting monsters and these people that looked like they were coming from some kind of ocean, people who were like, half people, half monster, folks who were like coming out of different places in the forest and trying to dig trenches outside of the swales, like around each hill that makes up the swales. And it was kind of garbled, and there was a lot of stuff that even for the greatest of believers did not seem, entirely on the nose or feeling coherent. So that there was kind of this nautical monster threat that Blueberry and the rest of the Helmsfolk claim to have been fighting. What you were also given access to on the bookshelf that you mentioned earlier were a number of logs describing like the Helmsfolk encounters with these different creatures, and some theories behind like the reason that they were entering the world. And so the few things that stood out to you from that log were that there appear to have been a couple of different like motivations for the monsters that they were fighting. The one kind of type of monster appeared to have been trying to like gather information or gather like human related intelligence. So there's a story of a monster who came through, who was like had the ability to create tentacles out of their body, like a human looking body, but they could just create tentacles, and they were known as the thief by kind of the person taking notes in this book. And their motivation appeared to have been like to steal artifacts from like cutting edge artifacts from human society. So there was like a time where they tried to steal like toasters, like 20 toasters went missing from the town. And then there was another incident where like this person who they thought was a person and eventually discovered to be the thief with these tentacles was trying to like steal like human hands, right? So like there were incidents where people were just getting their hands cut off and nothing else was going on, and it like baffled the police for a while, and that's kind of when the Helmsfolk got involved and realized it was related to the toasters. So there's this one group that's like focused on humans and human technology, whether everything from anatomy to like appliances and technology. And then there was another type of monster that was more destructive, right? So like folks that had, you know, shark parts coming through and just like ravaging people and with not taking anything away, no regard for their own lives or the lives of people, just interested in destruction. So there are a lot of theories in this book regarding these two different types of monsters that were pretty consistent. Like usually a monster that they fought would be from one type or the other. And some of the prevailing theories are just that like the places that these monsters are coming from has like more belligerent types and ones that are more intelligent or interested in the sort of collection of knowledge. And it was just out of curiosity that was based on their nature. But the other theory is that like those two monsters are coming from different societies or different political parties or something of that nature, and they have different agendas that are related to how they're sort of comporting themselves in this world. And you're passing all of this along to Lark. Lark, what do you like? What's the deal? Like, are you believing it at all now that you've seen like this whole hideout? Are you kind of just getting more and more pissed off that you're thinking like you've probably heard some of this stuff from your mom before, or at least like hints to it. And I think I imagine as you were visiting her more and more like later in her life, where you imagine she was becoming a little bit less in touch with reality. Like, how does this feel to have it all thrown in your face on this night, the night of her funeral, and all the things that's happened?
So, like I said, there's a level of anger because I I don't view the world the way that she did. So all this fantastical supernatural stuff is fugazi as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, I'm impressed with the setup she's created, even though it comes at the expense of the money that she's needed to support herself for the past few years. I'm resenting that she put it into this, but I'm impressed with how they've cataloged all these encounters. But for me, seeing is believing. So it's interesting that there's so much buy-in from so many people in town, apparently, or at least there was. But I'm still not seeing, not the point, but like what, this is the last message, and all I'm seeing are some notebooks and the ramblings of a 19-year-old. So like, I'm more interested now than I was when I saw the tape, but at the same time, it's not something that I'm buying at this moment. You know what I mean? Like I can't feel the spell. I can see his aura, obviously, but yeah, does that make sense?
Definitely. Mystic Mikey and Lark, you're kind of beginning to walk out and close up. Lark, I'm wondering if there's like a scientific element to any of this that kind of piques your interest. Obviously, you're an ornithologist, like interested in biology. Like, and
Yeah.
some of the books that Mystic Mikey had shown you down there did have like somewhat crude diagrams of these creatures. Like, it is kind of what I described, like anywhere along the spectrum from, a person that looked pretty much like a person with a few fish-like features all the way over to like basically a shark that can move on land. And I'm wondering if there's like a scientific or pseudoscientific part of this that you're interested in or that piques your curiosity at all.
Like I said, I'm interested in the cataloging. I'm interested in how exacting all of the information is and how consistent it is from multiple encounters and things like that. And having grown up in such a like a mythical place, I'm familiar with cryptids, but at the same time, I kind of know the common explanation for a lot of these things. Like people think they see mermaids, but it's a sperm whale's penis. You know what I mean? There's usually
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, there's usually like a natural explanation for these supernatural kind of remembrances. So, like I said, I'm interested, especially in the dedication that's obviously here. But yeah, that's as far as
Yeah,
it
that
goes,
makes
I guess,
sense.
at
And
the
I
moment.
think, yeah, I think you communicate that to kind of Mystic Mikey as you're walking out. Mikey,
Mhm.
on the other hand, is like super gung ho and is excited to be able to mentor someone that's twice his age, which I imagine will be a bad dynamic that will work out as we move forward. What I want to do now is just like play out a conversation. Y'all are exiting Valentine's, which has like dim lighting on. You open and close kind of the front glass door, and Mystic Mikey locks up as he's done all these nights. And standing right in front of you in the road is this haunted looking man that you all recognize to be Clinton Brooks. Or unless, Clinton, you had another way of approaching them.
I'm just standing there watching.
It's scary. Being scary outside.
All right, so what do you do? What goes down?
Mr. Brooks, what are you doing here? It's the middle of the night.
Mikey is visibly shaking and not saying anything, just for the record.
Hello, sorry about your mother. I heard she passed.
It's okay. It's a long time coming.
Who are you?
My name is Clinton. I was a close. Well, yeah. I was told to come here tonight
By who?
by by a smile in the fire.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about, Lark. This is the type of stuff that goes on. This guy's talked to a fire.
So
What did it say?
You don't know what you're talking about at all.
Oh, that's what they all say.
So you're siding with this guy, Michael? This is the guy that you want me to. This is the belief that you're seeking from me.
I guess, yeah. I mean, stuff like this happens literally all the time. I mean, it's just. What did the fire say? It just said to come find us?
Fire said that I had to be here tonight.
Oh. All right. Well, you're welcome to hang out with us, man. Do you want to come back to my apartment and we can watch tapes on this VCR that I just made?
I turn to
No, come on.
not to worry. I mean, I guess you can grab me, and I'm not like running away, but I am very.
Come on, you got nothing else to do.
I kind of like doing nothing. I like doing nothing, and I like being alone. So I don't know if the ramblings of two guys who are a little on two ends of the age spectrum, but same end of the not so crazy spectrum. But I don't know where I fit in here.
Let's see what you're working with, Mikey.
Let's go. Come on, Three's Company, man. Come on.
Okay. I guess you're right. I do have nothing better to do, but you better make it worth my while.
All right, cool. I mean, you guys want to grab a bite to eat at the diner really quick before we head out?
It's closed, man.
I actually kind of want to retcon it and just have it be open because I think this would be a good scene.
Okay.
I think that we didn't get a chance to like describe the diner or dwell on it before. So we can kind of go from maybe like middle of the night, like 1 a.m. to maybe roll it back to about like 10 p.m. and it's still open and it's kind of like the after dinner crowd. Inside in this kind of cheery light now as we're retconning, we have red vinyl booths and stalls above a crisp cherry white checkered tile. Glazed donuts the size of your face in cases behind the bar. The whole place smells overwhelmingly of coffee. And you sit down in one of the booths and little cups clink on heart-shaped saucers from some of the other few late night guests, and Sandy Dunn, who's kind of working the room, taking orders, bussing plates, comes on over, and she sees Mystic Mikey, who she hasn't always she hasn't really been a friend of. Like, Sandy's been super kind to everyone who comes through her doors, but like Mystic Mikey's one of just the weirdos who has not just one of the Moon Fork weirdos, which you get a lot of, but one of the weirdos who has come into Valentine's and kind of like tried to run her shop a little bit, like go straight into the back. She doesn't really take kindly to that, but she kind of nods politely in Mystic Mikey's direction. He's obviously been in and out after Sandy and Paige had their conversation, and Sandy hasn't given him any trouble. She also nods somewhat like kind of apologetically, almost with a sense of guilt, toward Clinton Brooks, who she knows is kind of a troubled old man. And she gives a warm hug to Lark, since they, have known each other since childhood and were best friends for a lot of it. And she kind of sees you all sit down and goes, "What can I get you all tonight? Cup of coffee, pie, anything you'd like."
She already knows what I want. I'm just gonna take a coffee with 2 creams and 1 sugar.
Yeah, she actually brings that over to start and is like, "What about you folks? Cup of coffee?"
Mystic Mikey puts a quarter on the table, it's like covered in like pocket lint and like stuff. It's literally all the money he has.
I push it back to him.
And I just say, "What can I get for this?"
I got it, Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
kind of looks over to Lark when this happens, and Clinton too, and is like, "Yeah, I mean,
All right. In that case,
we have a
I would like
menu."
a double cheeseburger with French fries.
And I say, get him a milkshake too.
Yeah.
And Mr. Brooks?
Black coffee, please. I grunt, kind of looking around, kind of not really looking at her, kind of looking past her, and kind of looking around the diner.
She brings you your orders, and you can see her communicating with Joaquin in the back, who gets started on that burger. And you all have some time to talk through whatever you would like.
I would like to learn a little bit more about Mr. Brooks because I don't really know anything about him, given that I just got here and he's kind of a recluse. So I'm like, "So, Mr. Brooks, what's your deal? Like, who are you? Where do you live?"
I don't love getting questions from this guy, but I'm sitting at a table with him, so do you feel like I have to answer? My family's been around here for a long time. Live on the outskirts of town. You've seen me around. I sip my coffee and I remain silent.
Have you ever heard of the Helmsfolk?
My ears kind of perk up at that. I've heard a lot more than you, kid.
Whoa. What do you know?
Just say there's been forces in this town fighting for a lot longer than you've been handing your pamphlets out.
Oh man. Okay. I mean, it seems like we might be really into some stuff. I mean, I basically found their hideout. It's like right under the diner. I mean, we could go back there and I could show you. Joaquin doesn't really like it when I go back there, but he's pretty chill with it. I mean, I could show you later. I mean, there's all types of books that talk about fish people and weird stuff like that. Like, does any of that sound familiar to you?
You found the hideout?
I mean,
I would love to see it.
I've basically been living there practically. Yeah, I mean, we can go back right after I finish this burger.
Y'all are having your conversation, and you notice a family who has been out kind of for their late night snack. You see a woman and a man and a young boy, probably about 5 to 7 years old, you might say. and he's going like, Valentine's always makes the best shakes, huh, Mom? And like looks over at Mystic Mikey, and he's like, is that guy glowing? He's having a shake too. Should I have ordered that shake? Would that make me glow? And the parents kind of like look over and are like, don't. I'm so sorry about him. And they kind of pull their kid away, and they walk out into the parking lot. And from kind of this glowing light in the, not Mystic Mikey's glow, but from Valentine's light, you are kind of blinded to what's going on outside, right? Because like when an indoor building is lit, you can't really see very far out into the darkness. But what you hear kind of like a scuffle going on. You right after they walk out, you hear like the mom give a scream, which is kind of like quickly cut off, and then you hear kind of like a struggle. What do you do?
Do we like? I guess I was gonna ask if we know these people. Like, I feel more connected if I knew them. I guess I don't know. I get my first instinct is to go. My first instinct is to go to Joaquin and be like, something's happening outside, because obviously I know him. My mom's run the place, but yeah, because they're closing.
Something's
the last
always
people in
happening outside, Locke. I'm cooking you.
People are screaming. I heard a scream.
I mean, we can go check it out together if you want. I'm surprised.
Nah,
You're usually an
finish the
upstanding
burger.
guy.
Finish the burger.
No, someone's screaming. I'm gonna go out there with you. So you've got Joaquin has joined your party.
Yes.
And the burgers are burning on the stove.
You like it well done, right, Mikey?
Whatever. Mikey's like staring out the window like this. He's just
wait, we have the same
like
accent.
his breath is like fogging up the glass. I'm very impressionable, you know. I just pick stuff up from anyone.
Okay, I think at this point I have my flashlight on me and my like little pocket knife. I said I had a 38, but that's only for like field work, and I would just walk around with a gun. So got my flashlight. It's lit enough outside, but I got it just in case in my hand. So I think I'm gonna head out. I don't know if Mikey's still.
Yeah, I
looking
mean,
out the window
Joaquin like rushes out the door when you tell him this, and now you hear him go like, "Holy shit!" And you're still inside, the three of you.
All right.
The scuffle is ongoing.
At the sound of that, I think I go kind of join the fray.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also joining the fray.
You all rush outside, and what you see is somewhat hard to parse at first. You see kind of like you see the child like lifted up in the air by a figure that is like so like clad in such like dark clothing that it at first looks like the child is levitating, but actually you realize that it's being lifted up and so high in the air. It's as if this individual would have to be, over 7 feet tall to be able to lift the child up this high. The child appears to be like over the individual's head, who is wearing these like dark gloves and under this this black cloak, and it almost looks like the child is being brought up to be dropped back down, but you're not sure like why, and you've never really seen anything like this unless you are used to like, I don't know, professional basketball players like accosting families and picking up children. The parents are like reaching up to try to like grab the child, but the figure is kind of like staving them off with one arm, and appears to be like extremely strong, extremely capable. Like two adult people are unable to stop it from accomplishing whatever its goal might be. And it does appear to be like a threatening situation. Like if the child was dropped from this height, they would be seriously injured. Or, it's possible that they could just be waiting for their other hand to be freed up to do something else. What do you do?
Can I try to reason with, like, can I, one of my, not abilities, but one of my, if I'm trying to persuade, one of my moves is using sharp instead of charm, for like persuasion checks. So I was just like, what are you doing? Put the kid down. No one needs to get hurt. So I'm trying to, use logic and reason to get the whatever it is, because I can't really see very well, and I'm obviously freaked out by the situation, to put the kid down.
Yeah. So you're talking about the move see it all fits together. You can use sharp instead of charm when you manipulate someone.
Yeah.
And I just realized looking at this playbook, I think we've only had one failure, but that was Mystic Mikey. You should mark experience for that. And the see it all fits together is actually for you can't manipulate a monster. That's like one of the rules. So you don't unless there's like some extreme exception, which there doesn't appear to be in this case.
Okay. Well, like I said, because I didn't know it was a monster, I tried.
Right. Okay, you try. So what do you say?
I say put the kid down. It's just a kid. What are you doing?
Yeah, they don't appear to register you, but they do see that kind of a crowd is growing, and they actually start to run away. So now they are making off with this child, and the parents are obviously super frantic, and you can continue to act.
Well, I think while Lark is trying to reason with this 7 feet tall whatever thing that we're dealing with.
This giant scary monster.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I think one of my powers or one of my moves is kind of I can tune in. I kind of try to attune my mind to the monster. I think that's something that I'm capable of. So kind of while there's all this talk and chaos around, I'm kind of doing one of my weird looks, kind of trying to like find the same wavelength and kind of see what we can figure out about this creature.
Yeah, you can. So one of the things that I think I have in mind for you, Clinton, is you're kind of drawing your power from this strange face in the fire, as you called it, the being that introduced itself as Cronoa. And I think I imagine you kind of having a focus for the magic that involves like a flame that you like use to kind of like keep that close. And I imagine for this, it's like an old lighter, like a silver or gold lighter that you like flip up. And like that's kind of your access to not like fire magic, but your access to whatever kind of mystical stuff you're able to tap into. So I imagine you like flick up this lighter, and the move you're talking about is it the telepathy?
Tune in, I think.
Tune in, yes. You can attune your mind to a monster or minion, roll plus weird on a 10 plus, hold 3, on a 7 and 9, hold 1, and you are able to like ask questions about the creature that you could only know being inside its mind. So you flip up this lighter, and you feel kind of the power of Cronoa enter your mind. It's the same kind of headachy feeling that you felt when talking to the fire in the first place. And what did you roll?
Natural 12 again, which would almost be bad. So.
Nice.
Clinton. Okay. On a 10 plus, hold 3. And you can spend 1 hold to ask the keeper one of the following questions. And you gain +1 ongoing while acting on the answer. So that means any roll you do in response to these answers, you can add 1 to it. So the questions are, where is the creature right now? What is it planning to do right now? Who is it going to attack next? Who does it regard as the biggest threat? And how can I attract its attention? So these are interesting questions. Only some apply in this case. But you can spend the hold, I think, like whenever you want. So you can spend all 3 now or hold on to 1.
Yeah. So I guess my first question is, what is the monster planning to do right now?
Yeah. So as you flick the lighter, I imagine you almost doing it like nervously, like a couple times to get the flame going. And as the flame kind of ignites, you don't see a face, but you do hear Cronoa's voice. And you hear it inside your head, and it goes,
You've encountered what you stopped last night, and Clinton, it is angry. The child, right now it appears to...
And it kind of pauses, as you are listening to it, as it's almost like entering the mind of the creature for you, right? It appears to have this power. It's some great force that you are communicating with somehow, and it goes,
It's acting. It's acting its role well. I assume it is planning to eat the child or abscond with it and eat it, as it might not want to be observed doing so.
My next question would be, how can I attract its attention?
Clinton, I'm not sure you're going to like this, but the only thing this thing is interested in is the human brain. If you can somehow offer a brain that is more unique or better than the child's, it might be interested in, but I mean, certainly you could attack it, do physical violence, harm, but I just, it's hard for me to tell you this, Clinton. You're a friend. I mean, would you offer your brain, or I don't even know how one would do that.
I think I turned to okay. I think I turned to Mikey and and Lark, and I say, "This creature needs a brain." I can just leave it at that.
I might have one, and I'm gonna roll preparedness. I'm gonna
"Oh
roll
my
prepared.
gosh!" Okay, so this is the this is the expert move preparedness. When you need something unusual or rare, this is certainly that. Roll plus sharp. On a 10, you have it right now. On a 7 to 9, you have it, but not here. It will take some time to get it, and on a miss, you know where it is, but it's somewhere real bad.
Inside my head.
Yes. All right, here we go, boys. I got an 11.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we have to do the classic role-playing thing where when you roll well enough, we gotta figure out how you have this and like
Yeah.
why and like where are you keeping it? So many questions.
Well,
I mean, it's
Mikey,
gotta
he's
be in
got.
a backpack. It's not in your
Yeah, he's got a
pocket.
backpack. He's got cargo pants that are just loaded to the gills. It's just
Wow.
every pocket is just completely stuffed. He's putting the cargo in cargo pants, right? And out of one of his cargo pockets, he pulls out just a brain in a jar. He's like, Wouldn't you have it? I was gonna put it in the Haven because I thought it looked pretty cool, but I guess we could use it for this instead. Like, we could just chuck it at this thing and see what happens. I don't know.
I imagine there are plenty of questions, but y'all gotta ask. This thing is making off with the child and the woods are nearby. What do you do, Mystic Mikey?
I'm gonna just chase after it with a brain.
Are you yelling
And
anything?
I'm yelling. I'm trying to get its attention.
All right, Mystic Mikey is sprinting after the hooded figure with the child, and Mystic Mikey in return is holding a brain up over his head and hollering. Lark and Clinton, is there anything that you want to do in response, or are you kind of just waiting and watching to see how this plays out?
I think while that was happening, while they're talking back and forth about what this thing needs, I think I'm still focused on the kid, and I still have the flashlight in my hand, which is, like a long kind of heavy duty flashlight. So, before it turns to run away, or maybe while it's doing that, I'm trying to like swipe at its knees, if it has knees, but like the knee region, because in my head, that's kind of a weak point, with the flashlight, trying to, hobble it, knock it down so I can get the kid lower, because
I see.
it hasn't
So
registered
you're
in
kind
my
of
head that
sprinting
this
after
is,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, kind of sprinting after it and trying to hit it because you're still thinking like this is just a extremely tall person trying to kidnap a child.
Yeah, I just see the kid in the air.
Yeah.
It hasn't registered.
Definitely. So that's going to be a kick some ass roll.
Okay.
So this is our first one of those. When you get into a fight and kick some ass, roll plus tough. So go ahead and do that.
Okay. I can't remember what my tough is. Let me check. This might be bad. Yeah, it's -1. Uh-oh. 7 -1, 6.
Okay. So this is a place where I'll offer you can do help out after stuff. So if Clinton or Mystic Mikey, I think Mystic Mikey's already doing something that could be helpful to like distract it, right? So that would make narrative sense. When you help another hunter, which is pretty much what Mystic Mikey is doing right now, you can roll plus cool, and then if you get a 7 to 9 or a 10 plus, you get to add +1 to that roll. So it could bump it up from a failure to a mixed success, which is always useful to do if you can.
I got a 7, so I can toss you a +1.
Perfect. Okay, just
Thank
barely
God.
getting through it.
Yeah.
Thank
So
God.
that bumps the kick some ass roll up to a 7. Let's resolve the help out first. So on a 7 to 9, your help grants them +1 to their roll, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger. And I think what that just looks like, Mystic Mikey, is you do successfully get the attention of the creature because you are another unique looking individual. The kid was a unique looking individual, so are you. But you represent 2 brains to the creature because you have the one in your hand and the one in your head. So it kind of drops the child and starts making its way over to you. And that's you're exposing yourself to trouble or danger. That's a soft move. It's making its way toward Mystic Mikey. Meanwhile, Lark smashes it in the knee area, which is probably more like the shin since it's so tall. With the flashlight on a 7 plus, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on one another. The amount of harm is based on the established dangers in the game. So, does your flashlight have a harm rating, Lark?
I don't imagine it would do that much damage. I didn't see that in my
I think it's
my
probably
notebook.
1,
It,
right?
Yeah.
1
it's
harm.
one. It's one harm. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
1 harm. So we have you in smashing it in the knee, and you see it finds purchase in kind of a bony area, and the creature does lose its balance a little bit, just kind of like being what you would imagine being kicked in the shin feels like. It's
Mhm.
pretty painful, and you what it does is it kind of feels this pressure knock into its shin, and it kind of tries to levy a punch on Lark, which it does successfully. It kind of socks him in the face with a surprising amount of force for 1 damage, and Lark is thrown backwards. Meanwhile, it uses its other foot to kind of swipe across the legs of Mystic Mikey, who's kind of standing there hollering and holding up this brain. So it knocks Mystic Mikey prone, which doesn't have any mechanical, interest outside of the narrative, and also does 1 damage to Mystic Mikey. So we have entered combat with this thing. It has dropped the child. Anyone can act as they would like, but that's where we are.
I mean, do you guys want to try and fight this thing or run away? I feel like this thing could really fuck us up. I don't know if we can just.
Yeah, my initial
Yeah.
thought after getting socked in the face is like, not doing that again. What the fuck? So I was thinking that I wanted to just like look around, being, I know I'm not, a fighter, but my instinct was to try to help. But now I just want to kind of, if I can, not literally take a step back, but just like scan the surroundings, see if there's anything that I can figure out that could either, I don't know, distract or, I don't know. Yeah, just look around, see if there's anything that's interesting in the surrounding area.
Yeah, so this would be probably investigate a mystery as you're getting socked in the face and kind of recovering from it. I will let you
Mm-hmm.
do that. I'm going to say everyone probably has like 1 more move to go before
Yeah.
this creature is like on y'all. So if you do decide to retreat, like you're doing this as you're kind of scampering away, Mystic Mikey would
Yeah.
probably have to like put the brain down and run away to buy any more time, but I'll leave that up to y'all. Or that could be like the sacrifice for a roll that goes like mixed. If there's anything Clinton wants to do after seeing these 2 people he was just talking to kind of get into a physical altercation with this stranger, any of that is in play. But go ahead and Lark roll investigate a mystery as you're looking around, trying to kind of discern more about the motive.
Okay. And is there a modifier on that, or is it just
Plus
straight roll?
sharp.
Okay. I got a 6. Got a 4 plus 2.
All right.
Not rolling well.
Yeah, 6 is a hard move. And people can... I don't know. I mean, if y'all think there's a narrative way that you could potentially help Lark with his investigation, you can try that. But we have already done one of those. So if you want to just let the 6 ride, we could do that. We could use luck. Up to you all. But 6 is a hard move, which I will take if nothing else is done. All right. I think I'm going to take that silence potentially as just letting the 6 ride. Unfortunately, so the creature is a little bit shocked, confused. It's kind of gotten into a bit of an altercation, which it wasn't expecting. And it is now a bit on tilt. And you can tell it is also somewhat cautious because it doesn't want to, get caught up in a situation that could break even more bad. So what it does is it turns around and it turns on kind of the family that is now kind of recovering and trying to make their way back to the car. And as it absconds into the woods, or as it tries to make an escape into the woods, you all witness maybe the most incomprehensible incomprehensible thing any of you have ever seen, and that's including Mystic Mikey and Clinton. So we know it's pretty deep. The mother and the child have gotten into the car, and the father is like fumbling with his keys. And you see almost like a takeaway snack. The creature removes its hood, revealing, glinting in the moonlight, this like absolutely massive set of teeth, and it arches over. It's like above 7 feet tall, as I mentioned, and it arches its back almost on top of, like putting its mouth on top of the individual fumbling for his keys, and bites off the entire top of his torso, leaving just a bloody stump of legs, which falls to the ground in a pool of blood. And this creature doesn't even really break stride as it makes off into the woods, putting its hood back on. Before the hood returned to its head, you were able to make out, Mystic Mikey, a glow somewhat akin to yours that was protruding from the top of its head. And you wonder, like, you've never seen another glowing thing before. In addition to your, of course, absolute horror at someone getting bitten in half. What do you do?
So did the kid make it away?
The kid and what you assume to be the kid's mother is okay, but the father was murdered.
That's my bad. I'm stunned into silence, so I'm just kind of like, I'm just like laying there.
I think actually we're gonna end it there, and we will return to this mystery in the stunned silence of what you all have witnessed next time.
Weird America, would you give me this one thing? It's medieval, but it's as modern as something on the radio or the phone you can't put down. Weird America, I'll be seeing you around. Weird America, I'll be seeing you on the swales today.
Soil Day Radio.
For a community of weirdos built on words. Find out more at soildayradio.com.